Okay, we're gonna do a word problem that incorporates a table. This table is showing the Western lowland gorillas diet. So you can see that the Western lowland gorillas diet is composed of food, fruit. The food is fruit. Then they have seed, leaves, stems, and pith. And then they also eat insects and larvae. And it shows you the percentage. So 67% of the diet is composed of fruit, 17% is composed of seeds, leaves, stems, and pith, and 14% is composed of insects and larvae. So what I want to know is, if a gorilla eats 33 pounds of fruit daily, how much food does a gorilla eat daily? So this word problem seems a little tricky because I have taught you to solve these by doing is over of equals percent over 100. However, if you look at the word problem and the table, there is no is over of. There's no is, there's no of, there's no percent. Oh, there is a percent actually. We know that percent goes here. What's tricky now is identifying what is your is and what is your of. So remember, that's why in the beginning I told you, instead of is or of, you can also think of part and whole. Part and whole. So the part goes on top and the whole goes on the bottom. So we're gonna focus on what? Gorilla eats 33.5 pounds of fruit daily. Fruit. So we're focusing primarily on the fruit. That shows you what our percent is. The percent we're going to deal with is 67%. (67% is what we're going to be focusing on. So I got that percent by seeing that they're focusing on fruit, and then you can see fruit is 67%, and that's how we filled that part out. Now what we're going to do is we need to figure out what is the part and what is the whole. So the food is split into fruits, seeds, leaves, stems, pith, insects, larvae. I'm going to say that again. Food, all the food that the gorilla eats is fruits, seed, leaves, stems, pith, insects, larvae. All of the food. These are the different things, the different parts of the food. So look, part, whole, part, whole. What corresponds to an entire thing? Which of these categories, fruit, seeds, leaves, stems, pith, insects, larvae, food, which of those classifies as everything? Fruits, seed, leaves, stems, pith, insects, larvae are gathered together. They're different parts of the entire thing, which is food. So you can see that the whole is going to be our food, all the food, all the insects, larvae, all the seeds, leaves, stems, pith, all the fruits are going to be known as the whole. So part is going to be which of these parts do we want to focus on? And we highlighted fruits. So the part is going to be the fruit. So what you ask yourself is, what's the part and what's the whole? So if you realize the food is the whole category, and then fruit is part of the whole category, that shows you your is and your of, your percent over 100. So now that we know that fruits go on top and food goes on the bottom, we can do the rest. A gorilla eats 33.5 pounds of fruit. That is a fruit number. Fruit is part, so the number should go up here. That should be up here. 33.5. Now, how much food does a gorilla eat? We know that food is going to be the whole entity. So it's asking how much food is there. That means that's what we're looking for. We want to know what that is. So now that we have set up our proportion, we have set it up as part over whole equals percent over 100. We can cross multiply now. So we're going to be cross multiplying 33.5 times 100. Here's a little trick. You see how there's 2 zeros? The little trick is that when you have multiplying multiples of 10, you count the zeros, that's 2, and then you can move the decimal that many times, 1, 2. So if I move the decimal that many times, I have an empty spot, and empty spots are always filled with 0. So now you know that 33.5 times 100 actually gives you 3,350, and that is equal to 67 times x, which gives you 67x. So all you're gonna do now is divide the number that has the x on both sides. The same number cancels out. You're left with, let's do this, 3350 divided by 67. Let's try 5. So let's try 5. 67 times 5 gives me 35. Carry the 3. Works perfectly. Bring down a 0. 67 goes into 0 0 times. So there you go. 50. But what does 50 correspond to? How much food does a gorilla eat daily? So this is 50 pounds of food daily. So a gorilla eats 50 pounds of food daily. And there you go, that is the lesson. So just remember, is over of equals percent over 100. Set up your proportion. Is over of equals percent over 100. Cross multiply, and then divide the number that is the same on both sides. Divide the number that is the same on both sides. I'm sorry, that has the x. Divide the number that has the x. Divide the number that has the x. Divide the number that has the x. And that is how we solve percent proportion.